Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, please make sure you like and subscribe. We would love to have more of you around. So today we are going to walk through a past wedding that I photographed. Talked about this a little bit earlier in other videos that, I would like to showcase my work because I can show you behind the scenes, I can talk about it, but as a photographer, I feel like I should show you what I actually work on and what I do. So this one we're going to walk through a wedding that happened in October of 2022, and so I just wanted to show some highlights from that wedding, talk about the day, talk about how I got the shot, XYZ, all those wonderful things. So we'll see how this first video goes, and if you like it, I'll keep doing it. If you don't like it, I will figure out another way to showcase my work. Either way, be nice, leave a comment of how you like this video. So a little bit about this wedding. This wedding was in October, so there was lots of foliage, beautiful foliage, and beautiful weather, and the couple was just amazing. So in this first photo, I wanted to make sure I captured the couple's personalized details. So the couple wanted to create some type of keepsake for their guests, and the groom had a 3D printer. So they decided to make like over 100 of these Pokemon bubble blowers, and I'll explain the bubbles in further photographs. But so they created these Pokemon bubble blowers. There is Pikachu, Charmander, Bulbasaur, I think that's the name of the green one. Cannot remember what the blue one is. Sorry, Pokemon fans. But this was really cute, and it was a really cute keepsake for all of their guests, and the fact that they took time to create these with their 3D printer. They also had this really cute engraved ring holder, so I wanted to make sure I captured that, as well as the flowers that the bride had. So this next Flatlay, we still wanted to incorporate the ring holder that was engraved, but I also wanted to highlight the ring set, and so I did add my my ring holder into this photo, as well as again the floral arrangements from the bride's bouquet and the flowers that are at the reception. And then I also wanted to include this piece because the future mother-in-law gifted this to the bride for the wedding, so I wanted to highlight a heirloom or a momentum that was gifted at the time. So this photo, I wanted to get some alone time with the bride before we all moved over to the venue. And so this pose that we wanted to have basically had her think about, what her and her future spouse had done leading up to this wedding, like the journey that they had, and then thinking about what she was looking forward to through the ceremony and the reception. And so of course just having her look towards the window for the best light, taking a deep breath, and this is the moment that was captured. I am a big detail girly, so wanted to make sure that I had just the little intricate details that were provided throughout the day. And so this was in a cup that was in the bridal suite. The bridal party were just hanging out, having a good time before the wedding, and I saw this and I wanted to capture it as well. And then of course the bridal party getting ready before the ceremony. So this photo was pretty hilarious to capture. Basically, the brother of the groom thought it would be hilarious to do a faux first look with him in the wedding dress. So we had the groom wait at one end of the walkway, and we have the brother come in with the dress, tap him on his shoulder, and then this was the reaction that we got when he turned around and realized that it was not his bride-to-be, but his actual brother. So that was a really good laugh, and we all had fun with that. So this is the actual first look, and love his reaction, seeing his bride in her dress, and it was just kind of like a real moment. I really like first looks, and I can talk about that more in another video if you all are interested. We also provide a service for all of our couples, monthly tidbits leading up to their journey or their wedding, and that is one of the things is first look. So we definitely talk about first look, why they're important, what you do for them, what you do for first looks, how it saves time, XYZ. So this was the actual first look, and it was beautiful. And then as you can see, his reaction to it, so they were just having a really good and fun time with this. So as I mentioned in previous videos, I do talk about the fact that I require a venue walkthrough with my couples, and that's to make sure that we can understand what's a good location for portraits, whether it's for family portraits, couple portraits, or individual portraits. And so this is a perfect example of going through this venue, understanding the lay of the land, and then picking a great spot in regards to family portraits. And of course, this fall foliage, however you say it, was beautiful, so it really helped with that backdrop. And then some close-ups of the bride and groom just enjoying their time leading up to the ceremony. And then another photo, this is, I absolutely love this. The sun and the foliage is just really nice. And then of course you have like a little waterfall in the back. So I just love when Mother Nature treats us nicely on a wedding day, because you walk away with this absolutely gorgeous light. So fast forwarding to after the ceremony, first kiss. Love the lighting, the sun that's coming through the trees right here. It just really makes this photo magical. We love a good natural sun flare. And so I mentioned the bubbles earlier, that was the takeaway or the keepsake for the guests, but they also wanted to make sure that they had bubbles coming down the aisle after the ceremony. So one thing I absolutely loved about this couple is that they were very forward thinking. So they knew that with the bubble blowers, with them being very manual, they knew that, some guests will do it, some guests won't, but it would be very minimal spurts of bubbles that were happening. So what they did was they proactively brought bubble guns and had their friends hold it throughout where the guests were seating, and as they were coming down the aisle, they blew the bubble gun and we got this photo. So these bubbles are not added in later. This was actually what happened during the end of the ceremony. And so this one, they did have a small group, and so we wanted to make sure that we were able to capture everybody that was invited. So myself, the planner, and my second photographer, we all came together to make sure that we could get everybody in the picture, and then also standing up on something so that way we can actually see everybody's faces. And so fun fact, I was standing on one of these chairs and I tipped my foot back and I almost fell. So luckily I caught myself, so I didn't hurt myself or I didn't hurt my equipment. But that was definitely a big takeaway for me, was that moving forward I needed to bring a step stool. With me being 5'1", pretty short, need to get up tall to get some of these photos, so definitely need to bring a step stool with me. Also, shout out to this sunflare, this natural sunflare that came in through the trees. It was absolutely gorgeous. Like, when I tell you this day was beautiful, like, oh my god, it was beautiful. The couple were big foodies, and so they definitely had a lot of food sprinkled around from the cocktail hour through the reception and even at night. So I really appreciate people that want to take care of their guests, make sure they're well fed, and make sure that they are having a fun time. So again, with the beautiful scenery that they had at their venue, we wanted to take full advantage of it when it came to individual portraits, and so we wanted to make sure that we had the waterfall in the background as well as the foliage to show that they did have a fall wedding. And it was still pretty warm because, as you can see, the bride has a sleeveless dress, and you know, it wasn't cold at all, so I really liked that. And of course, some details of the flowers. Absolutely love details. I can't get enough of details, so the more details you have at your wedding, even better, because I love to photograph them. And some details, more florals, but for the groom as well. And then more couples portraits. I can never get enough couples portraits. I literally do have to time myself because I could spend a lot of time doing couples portraits, but you know, we do have to keep the agenda moving and flowing through weddings, so I definitely have that limited time. So just making sure that I hit those key points that I want to during each wedding, and this was one of them, making sure that I had this really beautiful backdrop with them together. Wanting to show off the drinks, the non-alcoholic and alcoholic drinks. And then the venue also had a lake near it, so we wanted to make sure that we did have that in some of their portraits. And so that was kind of like a, hey, come outside right quick while everybody's getting settled. And we went ahead and took this portrait as well with the lake and the fall foliage again. So this was during dinner. Of course, they did their first dance and they sealed their first dance with a kiss. I do like to incorporate black and white and color photos in a wedding just to see how I set the mood or set the tone. And so this is one of them that I decided to do black and white. So it's really the focus on the bride and groom, even though you do have that busyness behind you with the building and the people in the backdrop, your main focus still goes to the couple. So I did want to just make sure that I had that. I think if it were a color photo, I think your eyes would just kind of go all over the place. So really focusing on the couple. So that's why I did the black and white here. And then more partying after dinner and just having a really fun time. They were definitely not necessarily party animals, but they loved to dance and they just really enjoyed having fun. More food, because like I said, they had food throughout the night, big foodies. It was really good. The restaurant did a very good job with the different times of bringing food out, whether it was like, you know, the main course or just like little snacks that people could snack on. And so this one, I thought this was really cute. This one and the next one as well. So there was a game that the couple played. And before I get into that, just want to say, like, you know, for your wedding, a lot of times guests tend to leave after dinner because, you know, they've been there for a while, you fed them, they're full, they want to go chill out or whatever. So if you want to keep your guests involved throughout the whole night, throughout your wedding, you have to entertain them. So whether it's a really cool DJ, an interactive DJ that brings people on the dance floor, or a game, or even some type of entertainer, maybe like, what are those, like the fire eaters, or a drone show, or something to that effect to keep your guests entertained, so that way they will stay a little bit longer. So about this game, it is not a typical US game. I can't remember where it is from, but it is an international game that is done at weddings. And basically there are teams of two. One person has a hat, the other person does not, and the person that does not have the hat, the objective is to protect the person that does have the hat. So with these each teams, the goal is to, of course, collect as many hats as you possibly can and get each team eliminated. And so it was a lot of fun to see people running around, strategizing, stealing each other's hats. They ended up doing like 3 or 4 rounds of this, and it was really fun. It was really cool to see, and it definitely kept their guests entertained. And so this is the final picture that I wanted to show of the bride in her cowboy bride hat and just having a fun time right after we completed maybe like the final round of that hat game. Alright, so that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video or this walkthrough of some of the photographs I've done. Let me know in the comments which one you liked, and as always, tell a friend to tell a friend that your wedding and event photographer is on YouTube now and you should go check it out. Bye!